everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Huntington Beach, California. Today is Sunday, April 23rd of the year 2023, and this is going to be FlossTube number 98. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers, and thank you, as always, for your continuing support. And I also want to say a special welcome to anybody that is watching for the first time. I hope that you like what you see today. You find a reason to stay, to subscribe, and to continue to follow me on my stitching journey. And as always, I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe and sound. Everything is good here. We're still adjusting to the new schedules, the new place. Now I'm pretty much out of the house for almost like 12 hours a day, so that's a shift. But for the most part, we have settled into a new routine. I was able to stitch for at least 30 minutes a day in the last couple of weeks, so I'm happy about that. Again, getting back to the rhythm of things. I do have finals coming up in a couple of weeks, so as stressful as that is, I also know that afterwards I'll have more time on my hands to stitch. I will be working over the summer, so I'll have more time, but not like all the time. But yeah, I do have quite a bit to show you, so without further ado, let's get to the stitching. And in no particular order, I'll just grab the first thing that I see. One of the pieces that I worked on the last couple of weeks. In fact, I think this got the most amount of time. This is my Mirabilia piece. This is Portrait of Veronica, designed by Nora Corbett. Camera's not wanting to focus on me at the moment. It's gonna be a struggle. But I mean, you've been following me for the last couple of years. You'll know that last year I did the same thing. I took a piece, I chose a whip, and I separated into 12 different sections with the intent of doing a section a month, so that by the end of the year I could have a finish. So I did the same this year. This was my chosen piece. But I am woefully behind on the stitching. This is what I have so far. So the last time I showed it to you, I had, reverse. I had just started adding the cry neck to the skirt. So as you can see, reversed. I'm trying to catch the sparkles. It's cry neck, it sparkles, it's pretty, but it definitely gave more. Let me see if I can get rid of this so it's not like across the skirt. It did give the skirt a lot, like a more defined shape, as opposed to just being like a random, like especially with that white, it looked really empty. It kind of looked bare. So at least now it looks like there's something going on with the skirt. I still need to add the beads, but that's not gonna come until the end. And I also, this is fine. I also finished this black section over here. And then I've come back to this top section right here. So I finally finished up the February section, the section that should have been finished in February, and I'm now in the March section. So the March section is gonna go through here, and it's the ribbon that goes all the way to the edge of the skirt, or at least the lighter colors of the skirt. So yeah, so she's been getting a lot of time, and she'll continue to get a lot of time. I do want to keep working on her next month, again trying to play some catch up. So again, this is when summer vacation is going to come in real handy, but as it is, I just feel like I'm behind on everything. Another thing I want to do this month is I want to go back to choosing a handful of whips to focus on. Words are hard this morning. Choosing a handful of whips to stitch on, and adding as many stitches on those as I can. Sammy from Sammy J Stitches has chosen those categories for me and my friends. So the categories for this month are a small, which I may or may not just pull out. Like, we get the option to choose another whip if we want to, so I may just choose something else for that because I don't have too many. I only have one small, which you'll see in a second. So I may just pull out the Moon Charmer for that instead. And then we've got a whip that has specialty stitches or beads. So Portrait of Veronica is going to be put in that category. Then we have what she calls the struggle bus. It's just a piece that for one reason or another is just giving us issues for, like, it's difficult to stitch on for one reason or another. So I'm choosing my Snow Girl piece from Tilton Crafts for that one, since it's been literally years since I stitched on her. And then another category is the Flora and Fauna, so anything that has to do with plants. So for that one, I'm pulling out the watercolor floral piece that I started, I think, back in 2019. Again, I haven't stitched on it for years, and I can't remember what the fifth one is, so I'll have to look back on that. So that being said, besides those, I do want to work on the Eternal Promise, because that one needs a lot of work. So I mentioned that I had a small piece. The only small piece that I have, quote unquote, is this one. It's See You at the Beach, and this one is by Luba Davies on Etsy. Again, I'll go ahead and put the information in the description box below. And this is where we're at right now. So the last time I showed it to you, I was up here on the S, the U, and the rest of the C was written. So I finished the S in the last couple of weeks, and I stitched the starfish, and the words here, at the, and started on the B, obviously. I did make a small change on this. According to the pattern, the words at the were supposed to be done in the lighter pink. I didn't know how that would look. For the starfish, I didn't mind it because it is outlined, so that gives it a more defined shape. Oops. But I didn't know how the rest of the letters would look against this fabric. So I just used the darker color that I used for the outline instead of the lighter color for the inside. And I think it looks good. So yeah, as you can see, I'm powering through this. This was a very quick stitch, very easy stitch. So I'm hoping that I can finish it this week, last week of April, which is why I'm not sure I'll be able to use it for my small category for next month. Because again, especially when it comes to the letters, it's just really quick, easy blocks of writing. So that's that one. Oh, another, I think this is the last one that I worked on the last couple of weeks. Again, Portrait of Veronica has gotten a majority, if not all, of my time in terms of stitching. I mentioned this in my last video, but I finally got around to starting this piece. Again, focus, hiding my face, there we go. This is Home is Where the NES Is by Choco Coco Stitch on Etsy. Oops. And it actually, I didn't know this. I didn't notice until I was looking through the Etsy shop. But if you've been following me for probably since the beginning of my time here. I don't know if you remember that I did another piece that was similar to that was inspired by World of Warcraft. It said home is where the Hearthstone is. It's by the same designer. Didn't realize it until I saw the pattern. I was like, oh, okay. So that was a happy coincidence, I guess. And this is what we're at for this one. So I finished the phrase, and I am maybe like a third, 2/3 maybe. Yeah, I'll say that. I don't know. You'll see. You can clearly see. I've have the outline for the NES control. I just need to fill in the rest of the black, and obviously the buttons are going to be right over here. And again, really quick stitching, so it was just letters. It was really relatively easy to get through. Once I get to the individual characters, obviously it's gonna go a little bit slower. I think for this one, because I'm gonna treat each individual video game character as its own little motif. So I may just use this opportunity to do a little bit of de-stash stitching, and I'll look for colors that are similar to those called for, but not necessarily stick to the called for colors. Sorry about that. I don't know if you could hear it. The floors, the ceiling and floors are not very thin here. I can tell when my upstairs neighbors are getting up and ready for the day, because I hear their dresser drawers just pulling out out of the rails. But other than that, it's been okay. We get dogs barking a lot here too, but it's okay. Anyway, that's all I have to show you for this time around. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I stitched on anything else the last couple of weeks. We did go see them. So speaking of, NESs, we did go see the Mario movie yesterday, which was really cute. Lots of Easter eggs, which we really enjoyed. There was one in particular that, since we are going through all those games from the NES system, at one point in the movie, Mario is playing a video game, and we recognized the video game immediately, and we were just like, oh. And again, like, I don't think many people would catch that reference unless they're, probably, I guess, yeah, like, if you did play the game back when it was released, then you probably did recognize it. But yeah, sorry, side tangent. Yeah, so I did want to also do a little bit of a shout out that I forgot to do in my last video, and I totally forgot to mention it. And as soon as I uploaded the video, I said, why didn't I talk about that? The mapping stitcher, Anna, visited last month, and we were able, she came to California with her family, and we were able to meet up with her. I mean myself and Laurel from Laurel Ann here on FlossTube as well. Anna was able to find some time to have lunch with us in her busy schedule. So that was great. It was wonderful to actually meet her in person. It's always really nice to meet up with stitchers like that. One of the things on my bucket list is to go to a retreat. I've never been to a cross-stitching retreat, and I do want to go eventually once, the budget allows. But otherwise, it's really cool to meet up with stitchers. And Sarah from Our Stitching Kingdom also let me know that she might be coming back to California to Disneyland or in November. So again, hopefully we'll be able to meet up again, so we can catch up. So yeah, so that happened. I totally forgot to let you guys know. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing new that's been going on. It's just been pretty much the same. I'm just trying to power through the next couple of weeks so I can rest for a little bit and then get back to it in August. As always, if you have any questions about anything that you saw here today, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I will post the links to the Etsy shops in case you're interested in any of the 2 patterns I showed today. But yeah, as always, I hope you guys have a productive week, a relaxing weekend, that you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, ciao!